Okay, welcome back to Ramblings of a Mad Guy. Today, we're going to be taking a look at doing a bit of a sociological study on the esteemed Jesse Lee Peterson. You may know him from some of his clips, his viral clips, where he calls male feminist betas and liberals are children of the lie. This is just a little bit of vocabulary you have to get into before you really, start to understand Jesse Lee Peterson. But I've had the privilege of watching sort of the longer form content, and it really gives you a different view of Jesse, and you realize as you're watching these that he has this sort of like power. He has this like power of honesty. And I'm not saying like everything he says is correct. I certainly don't agree with everything he says, but you know that he's not being disingenuous or dishonest ever, I think, if you watch him seriously. So let's get into it. I've got two interviews to compare back to back, two interviews with the same person, and we'll see what kind of effect the preaching of Jesse Lee Peterson has had on this one individual, Michael Ashurst or something. Michael Gallagher Ashurst. So, without further ado, let's check it out.
Ashurst. And Michael is an internet personality who is popular on the web for his satirical Facebook videos on social justice issues. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Jesse. How are you?
All is well, sir. I appreciate you coming on. How did you get started as being so popular as a social justice warrior on the web?
Basically, I would just put my opinions, my thoughts, and what I think is right out there. And for some reason, I would just get hordes of people attacking me and being mean to me.
I like how basically he's famous for being bullied on the internet, and then the title that they use for the video is Michael Gallagher Ashurst was an SJW beta. That's just some classic Jesse Lee right there. Let's see. So, you can kind of tell what kind of vibe this guy has. Let's see what some of the hard-hitting questions that Jesse asked him.
Supposed to, so she never asked.
Why would you need... Men are not supposed to be proposed to because men bring the woman into their world. He doesn't go into her world. Why would you need to be proposed to? You're not a woman.
Because proposals are toxic masculinity.
Keep that in mind. Jesse said, why would you need to be proposed to? Men do the proposing. You're not a woman. Okay? Just remember that. I'm not endorsing everything or anything in particular that Jesse Lee Peterson's saying. I personally would not want to be proposed to, so I know what he's talking about. But keep in mind, Jesse's giving him the benefit of the doubt. You're not a woman. Why are you acting this way? All right, let's continue.
Is a man putting a woman on the spot and saying, I need an answer right now. And I'm not that type of guy. I let women have the power, and I give them the power and responsibility, and I am just here to support them.
Beta. Well, that...
Jesse.
That's why your girlfriend left you, because you're a beta male. She wanted you to be a man. She wanted you to lead the way, not follow her.
But I did everything for that. Anything she asked for, I would do.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's hilarious. So this guy basically just sort of lays his heart out there. He goes, I think they should have the power. I did everything for her. And by the way, the preface of this is that he was in a relationship for 6 years and his girlfriend dumped him for an alpha male. Like one of those people that they used to, I guess, make fun of together. You know what I mean? Like, she was sort of SJW, and she brought him into that. Clearly, she brought him into her world. And then Michael just sort of lays it on the line, and you get the immediate beta. Jesse Lee. He just has a way of cutting through all the bullshit somehow. I don't know what. Okay, let's continue with Jesse Lee.
And say if I was to go contact my father, what I'm afraid of is he'd think I was too feminine. Because I know he's not feminine at all, and he won't understand where I come from, or I don't think he'd accept me.
Are you feminine? Do you see yourself as a feminine man?
Some things, yeah.
Oh yeah, something.
I think femininity is beautiful, and anybody can be feminine.
You think a man is beautiful when he's feminine?
In certain ways.
Like, I've never seen a beautiful feminine man. In what ways?
Just takes care of themselves and likes to look pretty and nice, and just likes to take care of themselves. They care about things.
No, a feminine man is a weak man because he's a woman. He's a beta.
No, he's not, Jesse.
Yeah, he's a beta.
No, he's not.
He is a beta.
But see, even the way he's saying, no, he's not. No, he's not. It's like a Midwestern, like, mom. I love how this guy was like, I would reach out to my dad, but I'm afraid he'll think I'm too effeminate. And then instead of Jesse Lee being like, no, like what he was expecting when he said that, what the Michael was expecting, was for Jesse to be like, no, he'll accept you. He'll bring you back. You'll learn from him how to be more of a man. Reach out to him, find him. Everything will be good. And instead, immediately, Jesse Lee goes for the beta. He's like, yeah, you are effeminate. Beta. Just like basically like a nightmare version. Like that's exactly what this guy thinks his dad is going to say to him right when he gets to the door. And Jesse immediately hits him with it. So just a little bit of like interviewing skills. You know, if anybody's curious about like how to elicit emotional reactions from your interviewees, that's certainly one way. Just call them a beta.
Well, I do care about black people killing each other, but the point is it's not my point. It's not my place to have an opinion on it.
Oh, there's no such thing as police brutality. That's a made-up lie.
Jesse.
It's funny because this guy, Michael Ashurst, like he doesn't know what's going on. Like Jesse Lee Peterson's producer found this guy on Facebook. Maybe he has 1,000 friends on Facebook and has like a viral video bitching about Trump, and they're like, come on the show. And then Jesse just drops the most hardcore like talking points. Like, and they're not Fox talking points. That's what I appreciate about him. They're not anything you'll find on any mainstream media. It's simply him, you know? But you can't be prepared. Like professional, like liberal talking heads come on this show, and then they like argue with Jesse, and they go, "Well, actually, there is police brutality because 10 million black people are beaten with sticks every year, and actually, white people do this and that and everything, like, ingrained culture." But I kind of like when he just has a guy that knows nothing. His only reaction is, Jesse, stop it. Like he's like a dog that took a shit on the rug or something. Let's see.
They hate the cops.
Well, I don't like the police either, but that doesn't mean you can shoot me.
Because you're afraid. You're beta.
No, you're a beta.
No. You're a beta, Michael.
Beta.
No,
Beta.
you are a beta.
Beta.
I am a normal man. You're a beta man.
No, you're not normal. I could think of many words to call you. Normal is not one.
He just has this guy on who clearly is on the brink of like a mental breakdown. Just going, beta. You a beta. And Michael's response, not accurate. I mean, obviously Jesse Lee Peterson is not a beta. I don't know what he is. He's not a beta. But that's what that's what it gets down to. When you bring on somebody who's about one more Donald Trump election from, you know, shooting up a movie theater as Michael Ashurst is, you're not going to get exactly the most like lively debate. It's going to be two guys yelling at each other. No, you're a beta. Beta. No, you're a beta. Beta.
I'm putting this on the bully list.
Bully list. He just laughs.
Oh, are you a police? Are you a cop?
Do I look like a cop? No, I am not a cop.
No, you're
I would
right.
never be a cop.
But they have drag queens who are cops now. You may be a cop.
Yes, they do have, and they're not drag queens. They're transgendered women.
No,
This is important. Okay. What did he say? They have drag queens who are cops now. And then what does Michael say?
who are cops now. You may be a cop.
Yes, they do have, and they're not drag queens. They're transgendered women.
No, it's men pretending and women pretending to be something that they're not. Last question: will you go and deal with your mother and go and meet your father?
I am not going to deal with my mother because I need the money. But I may reach out to my father in the future. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, you get you a job, and then you won't need your mama's money.
I have a job. I work over 12 hours a week.
Well, do you live with your mama?
Hours a week.
No.
He said, I work over 12 hours a week. Bitch, I jerk off for 12 hours a week. What the hell are you talking about?
I am not going to deal with my mother because I need the money. But I may reach out to my father in the future. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, you get you a job, and then you won't need your mama's money.
I have a job. I work over 12 hours a week.
Well, do you live with your mama?
No, I don't. I live by myself.
So why do you need her money if you're working 12 hours? You said 12 hours a week.
Yes.
That's not many hours.
Yeah, I could work more if it wasn't for anxiety. Because of my anxiety, I had to cut back my hours. Now I don't make enough to cover my bills, so my mother covers for me.
Amazing. You got to get away from mama.
Amazing.
Well, I can't right now.
Well, forgive her and you will, Michael.
I'm not mad at her, so there's nothing to forgive her for.
Yeah, she's turned you into a woman.
I am not a woman, Jesse.
Yeah, you act like one. You have anxiety like one. You hate your father like a woman. And if you were busy at work, you wouldn't be having anxiety.
Okay, so that sounds extremely harsh. It's like, your mama is turning you into a woman. You act like one, you have anxiety like one, you're not, this and this and this and this. Again, not endorsing what Jesse Lee Peterson says, but this is a sociological study about the power of his interviewing practice. So, remember that Michael said, I am not a woman, right? But also look at this look in his eyes. Am I? Okay, now we're going to move to the next clip. And we'll see. We will see if Jesse Lee Peterson is a bigot or if he sort of just speaks things the way he sees them. Okay.
He's coming in as a trend. I have with me, he is back, but this time he's coming in as a transgender person, and under the name of Willow Kessler. Willow Kessler, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Jesse. And just to start off, it's she. Thank you.
I'm sorry?
It's she. You kept saying him. It's she.
No, I said he came in as a transgender person this time, right?
Yes, but it's she. I'm a woman now.
Were you born a male?
Yes, I was.
And if you were born a male, how is it that you're a woman?
It's gender dysphoria, and
what does that mean?
Technically, I'm not a woman, but
Okay, I'm not making fun of this guy at all. Lady, at all. But you have to admit that Jesse was right. Right? Like, at the end of the last video, he said, I am not a woman. fast forward, 1-2 years. I mean, you know what I mean? He is a woman. She is a woman. Probably now has to say that she always was one, right? So it's not like, say what you will about Jesse, but he does have sort of an interviewing style that can change you from one gender to the other, and that's something that's really rare. I think we should get him on some of the more mainstream. Let's just check out a couple of clips from this and see if there's anything.
I just want to blend in as a woman. That's all I want to do. I do a pretty good job of it.
No, you don't look like a woman at all.
Besides my chin, if I hide my chin, yes, I do.
You gotta
yes, I do, Jesse.
You gotta do more than that.
Well, that's your opinion.
No, Stevie Wonder can see that you're not a woman.
Well, I've sold hundreds of dollars of feet photos to men who thought I was a woman. So
also, hundreds of dollars is like 3 photos. That's not a lot. Okay, again, I'm not making fun of this person. I'm making fun of the situation. I'm making fun of the situation and laughing my ass off at the interviewing stylings of Jesse Lee Peterson. But, okay.
You said that there shouldn't be any cis women in sports, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
You said there shouldn't be any cis women in sports.
Oh, yeah, cis women in sports.
What's a cis?
He says that there should not be any cis women in sports. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Think about that for 1 second, what that means.
Cis woman.
A cis woman is a woman that was born as a woman. She's biologically a woman. It's
So I don't understand. You guys so you're saying a real woman should not be in sports?
No, they're slower, they're weaker, they're emotional. If you want to watch women's sports, watch trans women's sports. Give us a chance.
If you want to watch women's sports, watch trans women's sports. That was the craziest argument I've ever heard in my life. Like, pick a lane, my friend. You can't be a trans woman and say things like, it's 2023, Jesse. And then also have like an 1870s take of biological women shouldn't play sports. They're weaker. They're slower. Like, that's what he was saying. That was his argument. I'm sorry, her argument. Cis women should not be allowed to play sports because they're weaker and slower and more emotional. That's what he said. How is that a take that you're allowed to have? That's more offensive than anything that JLP has said in the last 2 episodes, I think. Let's just roll that back so I'm not just like going crazy here. This is a real take that this person has.
So you're saying a real woman should not be in sports?
No, they're slower, they're weaker, they're emotional. If you want to watch women's sports, watch trans women's sports. Give us a chance.
This seems like a bit.
We're faster, we're bigger, we're stronger, we can score more goals.
But that's because you were born as a male.
Yeah, I know.
But it's okay for women to participate in sports against one another, but they shouldn't be allowed to play against men. Am I right?
Yeah, I guess they can compete against each other, but when a woman like me joins their league, all of a sudden there's a lot of talk and issues, and that I, am too rough and too physical. So, screw it. Let's just make trans leagues. If they're going to be weak like that.
But who would want to watch a bunch of drag queens playing sports?
Well, I'm not a drag queen. I'm a trans woman. There's a big difference, Jesse.
But you are a man in a dress, so you're a drag queen. You can call it whatever you want. But in reality, it's a drag queen, right?
No, a drag queen is like an adult entertainer, Jesse. I'm not an adult entertainer.
Yeah, I see the nuance there. Yeah, he is not an adult entertainer. I
Okay.
understand where the old black man from Alabama gets his worldview about, like, basically any guy in a dress is just a drag queen. I see where they're both coming from. That is one of the craziest takes I've ever heard. So crazy that it actually made Jesse Lee Peterson seem like the sane party in that conversation. Like, look, if you're born a man and you're beating up women, why don't you just let the women have their league? To the extent that this person actually had to say, like, yeah, that actually is probably better.
Oh, did you hear about? I wanted to ask you about this. There is something called a trans MMA fighter, and that person being named the bravest athlete in history. Have you heard about that?
I don't know how I feel about that, because me personally, I could literally beat the crap out of any cis woman. There is not a woman that could take me in the
Seems like he's thought about it a little bit. Won't hold it against him. We'll just see where this goes.
world. I am 6'3", 220 pounds. I'll beat your girl's ass.
You're a big man.
You wouldn't want to put me in the ring with a woman.
Big man, he says. Okay. He goes, She goes, I'm 6'3", 220 pounds. I'll fuck up any cis woman that steps to me. As if she's been, like, fantasizing about it. Okay.
I think it would be unfair to a female.
This so-called MMA fighter, I read that he broke two girls' skulls.
Oh, wow. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, that person should be in jail, don't you think?
Well, it's MMA. If it was sanctioned and they all agreed to it and they went into the arena and they started throwing punches, it's on. I'll tell you what, if a woman comes up to me and throws a punch, I'm going to put her out. So, yeah.
Imagine hating women so much that you decided to become one so that you could beat them up. It's like some sort of crazy Freudian. Look, I'm not going to get into it. I don't know much about that. I don't know if I know anybody. I've known a few people who are transgender, and they're all extremely lovely. I love them. I respect them. Respect anything you want to do with your pronouns and call yourself a certain way. And where I personally draw the line, and maybe JLP, Jesse Lee Peterson, will agree with me here. Maybe he won't. Don't be cutting little kids' dicks off before they're of a consenting age, which I think is 18 or maybe even 25, honestly, if we're being really serious about brain development. And don't let guys like this get into a ring, an MMA ring with, like, actual women and crack their skulls and beat the shit out of them. I mean, I feel like there's very little nuance that I'm missing here. Like, there are some dudes that hate women so much that they will even become one to beat them up. That's very obvious. And maybe Willow is one of those. I won't put that on her. But much love and peace. I'm not here to, like, support any, if you think this is bigoted or something like that, go fuck yourself. I'm not here to support any bigotry. I think Jesse Lee Peterson has an incredible interviewing style. Hate him or love him, you have to respect the straightforwardness, the like personal honesty, and also his ability to turn a man into a woman simply by commenting on it. But anyway, thank you. I hope you enjoyed. This was sort of a fun one for me. Yeah. Bitch in the comments if you want. So make sure you subscribe first. But yeah, write a lot of comments, bitching and moaning and just all of it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day. Peace.